Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to what is today going to be us going through, taking a look at those 51% damage, all boosting weapons that are currently available. Now, we last looked at this at least 2 years ago, so there are some new additions, and if you're not aware of what we've been doing recently, I've been going through different categories, and we're going to be looking at every single boosting item that is in the game, with all the various boost types. Now, we're starting off here at Join Lava Rock Bay, and what you're able to grab from Forge the Burning Sword of Doom is the Burning Sword of Doom. Worth noting, this is a seasonal map, so if you come along in the future and it's a lock zone, that's why, and it'll be back in June. Next up is over to Timeinn for Exalted Apotheosis, and we are all more than aware of this item when the Ultras first started showing themselves in game. It is worth remembering there is the single weapon version and also the dual versions. That means you are able to get to 51% boosting items, although when these first came out, they were a 50% item. However, that's a story for another day. Next up is a Necrotic Sword / the Blade of Doom. The old time classic, literally made into yet another old time classic. Shadowfall is the place you need to be, and yes, Void Auras do take a while to farm for, but don't forget you do have the daily quests available for these now, so you can do them as a free player, or remember to help in reducing the total time needed to grab it. And like we say, the blade's also in it if you want an old school version. Okay, join Nostalgia Quest, and once you get here, you can get yourself the dual version of the Necrotic Swords of Doom. It's just worth mentioning, it's another boosting item, and if you're a collector of these, you might as well pick them up. One thing I am going to say is we are not touching the IODA versions, they are being left out of the video. If you want the IODA versions because you're a complete collector, those are available on some of these items, but like I say, we're not going into that today. Over at ultradage, there are loads of empowered weapons of variants of different bits and bobs you're able to grab. Some of these, and it's the same with ultra nulgath, are semi-rare, so you may not be able to get every single one of them if you don't have the original version of the item you're trying to empower, but I'm sure more often than not you'll be able to get the vast majority of these if you do indeed want to go through farming the Legion tokens needed for each individual one and those Dage insignias. Also here at ultradage nowadays is the Hollowborn Calibog, so if you have a little look in the merge shop, as you can see right there, is the empowered and dual version of the weapon for you to go along and farm for. We mentioned a moment ago that we'd be going over to Ultra Nulgath, and here we are for even more empowered variants of weapons. There's everything in here from the Overfiend Blade to the Ungodly Lagger. It goes without saying for all of these items in particular, if you do have some Nulgath farming pets, some of them might be quite appealing to go along and grab, especially if you have some insignias already pre-stacked up. Don't worry though folks, if insignias are not for you, because there are a couple items featured in this video that will not require them. Although, as you expect, they are still super grindy to go along and grab. One of the other things we can touch on is Sin of the Abyss. Yet again, it will require some insignias, and there are other Nulgath regents you will need to grab in order to pick it up. But it could be one of those, if you need to botch out your collection, that you could consider grabbing. Ultra Darkon is our next location for the empowered Higya. I don't even know how I was meant to say that, so I've taken a total punt. This is a really nice weapon if you haven't got it, because it has got a variety of boosts attached to it, including gold, rep XP, etc. And of course, the 51% all boost. Next up is Join Temple Shrine for the Great Blade of the Entwined Eclipse. This is one of those that I've still got to go along and grab. It's quite an irritating little one because I always forget to do it. You can go do it daily. You get a char page badge for your trouble as well, so it's definitely worth checking out if you want to do some dungeon runs. Join Hollow Deep for the Hollowborn Sword of Doom, and yet another one we're literally just about to turn in for. Rather predictably, the item you're going to be farming is the Hollowborn Sword of Doom, yet another variant, and yes, there is a pretty big theme going on with a lot of these. Next up is our last insignia map, and that is going to be Ultra Speaker for Malgor's Shadow Flame Blade. Now, this is one I have picked up, and I did not even realise it had a 51% tag on it. I was too busy farming away for other bits, and it turns out it does. So, if you've got that one lurking away, it could be worth getting out to stick on a Forge Enhancement. Next up is Join Turk, and once you're here, you're able to find yourself the Void High Lord. And the Void High Lord's merge shop is a farm that looks very similar to the Void High Lord farm, with a couple of exceptions thrown in there. But this is where you can grab yourself the Necrotic Sword of the Abyss. Yes, as we said, yet another variant, except this one does also have a little gold boost attached to it as well. Lastly, and certainly not least, is join Archmage for the Provident Staff. Yes, you heard me right. You're able to grab yourself a staff, which does have a 51% all boost attached to it for monsters. It is a pretty horrific quest to go along and farm, but once you've done it, it is essentially the Archmage bonus one. You will get yourself that weapon and yet another booster. Anyway, folks, other than IODA versions, that's everything covered. We'll be back to take a look at more damage boosting items very, very soon. So until next time, take it easy, and I'll see you all again incredibly soon.